Hello everyone, welcome back to another banner reaction. I'm DTM as always, and we're expecting a new mythic hero this time around. I'm super excited. Hopefully it is a defense mythic because let's be real, we've been getting a lot of very powerful offense mythics, and while Dark Season is fine, Anima Season is like sort of a lost cause right now unless you are like a whale or something. So yeah, hopefully we get something cool that can help like diversify the meta and all of that. And I'm super excited. No idea who it's going to be perfectly honest. Like I have absolutely no clue. But yeah, let's get into this. As always, if you like the content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that jazz to help support the channel. Only takes 5 seconds to subscribe, but truly does help the channel a lot. And I really do appreciate all the constant support. And yeah, let us begin. Who's it going to be? Wait, is it actually Freyr? Because that is book 4 music. Okay, it is actually Freyr. Alright. That probably means he's dark though.
Within dreams
or Anima.
Can be seen.
I'm not gonna lie, Beast Cav, I don't know how good he'll actually be. It'll probably depend on his preference stuff. Let's see. I see Resonant Shields. Okay, I think we're going to need to take a closer look at that. But if this is like Anima, I think that's the Anima side. That is definitely not dark, I will say.
Your dreams end here.
Someone will pay. What does Freyr have against Elm? Alright, let's see. I guess all the Freyr fans will finally be like celebrating. It's been so long since he debuted too. I mean, we did have a summer version, but like, yeah. Ingrid though is definitely a very interesting option. Wow, it is just Beast Cavs plus Ingrid in blue. So yeah, this will last roughly 2 weeks-ish. And yeah, we have our FEH Spark as always. Alright, so it is Freyr. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think this banner is probably gonna sell that well. Like, maybe like the 5 Freyr fans will be super happy. Who knows, maybe it will actually. I don't know, it'll depend on this kit, I think. I don't think the share is particularly that impressive. But I guess having Nertheus and Freyr here, as like both from Vanaheim, fits very thematically. If only Freya also was there. But I did see like that effect. I'm very curious to see what that would actually be. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the skills, starting with Dreamhorn. I believe we know what this does, maybe? Oh, anyways, let's see. Accelerate special trigger. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, inflicts attack defense minus X on foe. X being 50% of the highest total bonuses among unit and allies within 3 spaces of unit, plus 6. Okay. Unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack during combat, and reduces damage from attacks during combat and area effect specials by 30%. So we get some damage reduction. We get a lot of stat deflections because theoretically, if you're like fully buffed, 50% of that is like 12. So you can theoretically get like minus 18 on attack and defense, which is really good. At start of turn, if unit's adjacent only to Beast Dragon allies or is not, unit transforms. And then we get the Beast Cavs transformation. The newly upgraded Beast Cav transformation effect. Alright. Sounds cool. So judging by his kit, he's definitely not going to be speedy. Probably want to be more on the slow side, focusing on attack and defense instead. Low attack defense 4, we know. Okay, what's the interesting part? Dream Deliverer. At start of player phase or enemy phase. So that gets by Elimine. Okay. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, neutralizes any penalty that takes effect on unit or allies within 2 spaces of unit at this time. At start of turn, if units within 2 spaces of an ally, grants defense res plus 6 and resonant shields to unit, and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. If unit is within 3 spaces of allies, grants defense res plus 4 to unit and inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack during combat. Okay, at the start of player phase or enemy phase, um, okay, I think I will need to like see this interaction because in like ether raids, obviously like we have this separation, and since you're on defense at the start of player phase, it will neutralize any penalty. Does that remove like the false start effect before it applies or not? I don't know. I think that is something we'll have to test out. Because if it can neutralize like false start or isolation or anything like that from applying, then this is actually a super strong unit. Like this might, if it works the way I'm thinking it works, like dancer traps are back, baby. Is that really how it works? Okay, because okay, at the start of player phase, okay, who cares about the like preference weapon? It's good and all, but like this C skill, I think will make or break how Freyr actually does, because if it does able to cleanse things like isolation and false start, like it'll be really good. I think it will cleanse isolation just because isolation doesn't like counteract any, or doesn't like doesn't matter whether or not it happens at the start of turn or not, but like false start does, right? So does like the start of turn and this cleansing happen at the same time? Because if it does, that means that false start will still like affect out of turn effects, and you wouldn't actually like get like your Katria balls to spread the triangle attack, or get like the hardy fighters to like get your special charges and stuff like that. And then like it's only on the next tick that, you know, it's fully false start's fully cleansed, but like by then false start, you know, did all it needed to do basically. So like I want to know exactly what sort of priority there is, because if it can cleanse false start before start of turn effects would normally apply, then like this is really good. If not, it's less good, but it does. But I still think like this still means that dancer traps will work and will cleanse isolation, I think. If this works the way I think it works. And the good part about this is that Dream Deliverer itself is not affected by Elimine, because Elimine only applies to effects that trigger at start of turn, while this is at start of player phase or enemy phase. It's like who was it? Gregor's effect, I think, that had this before. So yeah, I think just okay, again, I'm not entirely sure how this works right now. So take everything I'm saying with a huge grain of salt. But basically, there are like a couple of scenarios. Whether this actually cleanses false start before start of turn effects trigger or not. If it does, that means Freyr is basically a must-have on every Anima defense. Not, I guess, technically not a must-have. Like, we do have counter play against Elimine sort of by res stacking. Like, you generally just res stack your Katria to try to beat the Elimine res check. But like, obviously, you don't have to do that with Freyr, and obviously, this also means that you can have other start of turn effects apply that you don't even, or like alongside Katria, so you can have like multiple of them at the same time. Might bring back Infantry Pulse if it works the way I think it does. If it does, I think Infantry Pulse would be super happy about that. Or it doesn't, and like false start like still gets the job done. In which case this is less good, but it's still pretty useful since it does mean that isolation does get cleansed, and dancer traps are a thing now. Unfortunately for dancer traps, saves do play a hindrance in the success of that archetype these days. A lot of dancer traps, in general don't really have the power needed to overcome a lot of the save options these days, unless it's like pretty invested or like you use like the top tier nukes. But like it can definitely hold its own against things like Omni tanks or things like that. So overall, again, like I don't know what to think about this because I don't know how Dream Deliverer works right now. Can it cleanse false start or not? Like that is the question. Or I mean, it will cleanse false start, but will it cleanse false start before like false start is able to get the job done? Again, like I don't know, and we'll have to test that out once we actually get in that game. So yeah, this is gonna be very interesting. Yeah. But hey, Freyr is finally in the game after so long. I mean, I guess I'm surprised he's not Dark to like be opposed to Freya. But I don't think Dark really needs much, to be really honest right now. So yeah, it's a good thing he's in Anima, because he was looking pretty good with that C skill. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at this banner. Yeah. Alright, so in blue, we have Freyr, we have Nerthus, and we have Ingrid. Nerthus is a light mythic, so more merges on her definitely helps, especially if you don't have that many merged up light mythics. But Nerthus is definitely not like the best light mythic. That is Peony and Asker right now. And honestly, I think I'd put Ash above her as well. But still, like, Nerthus is definitely very strong. Can act as a Gale Forcer. Can act as a unit in like I forgot what the word is called, but it's like the SD team with like Seliph, Brave Crom, and like Dagger, and like a rush line, I think is what it's called. Like Nerthus actually puts in work in Summoner's Duels. If you haven't seen like Patrick's videos, she puts in a lot of work. So Nerthus is definitely a very strong unit. It's just that as a light mythic, she's not exactly the greatest light mythic. Of course, that being Peony and Asker, which personally I would prefer going over her. But still very strong. Ingrid is right now, I believe, the only source of Guard Bearing 4. And honestly, like Guard Bearing 4 is just so valuable as fodder, especially if you have like Soren Guidance 4 or just regular Guidance 4. If you inherited that onto Ingrid and get a bunch of Ingrids, you can basically make like a bunch of melee flyers with like attack speed unity from Tana, Guard Bearing 4, and Guidance 4, and just like completely have a very effective front line with that warping. Like you can put that on Katria, Bridal Katria, and she can frontline. Like that is actually insane. So having Ingrid here is really good. So more merges on that honestly is really well appreciated. For Freyr himself, having more merges on a defense mythic is not as necessary, and I don't think he necessarily has the greatest fodder. But still, like it's nice. It's just not ideal since you don't really benefit directly from merges like you do for light mythics or astro mythics. So like overall, I think blue's main value is Ingrid, to be perfectly honest. Like Nerthus is nice, but you definitely don't need her unless you really want a light mythic merge. And then Freyr, you generally just need one. So not a hard like plus 10 color to go. For red, we do have Lilina, Sigurd, and Alir. Lilina and Sigurd are still very strong legendaries, wind and fire. So if you need a wind or fire core, this is like really, really good. Alir as well is also really good, has really nice fodder as well. And so obviously you'd rather not have Alir unless you like need the fodder for a specific reason. But still, it's overall a pretty strong batch of colors. In green, we have Thor, Eitri, and Selene. Thor, again, being an Astro Mythic, you do gain value with merges, but Thor is definitely not the strongest Astro Mythic right now. Ader, I think I forgot how her name was pronounced, but as a fire legendary, if you need a fire legendary and like Thor is part of a merge project, then this could definitely have value. But Ader honestly is probably over eclipsed by I think Shez. I think Shez is a fire legendary, yes. So yeah, and then Selene, very good support for very specific units, but overall not a unit I would particularly go for. And then for colorless, we do have Medius, Arvel, and Elimine. Elimine still super strong as always, but Medius and Arvel are defense mythics, so you don't really gain value from merges that much. Honestly, you probably, if you have multiple copies of Medius, you probably want to save that for Canto control fodder. So yeah. I guess that's something. So overall, honestly, I'm not really feeling this batch, to be perfectly honest. Like, I do think red is pretty strong, and blue does have value, especially in the form of Ingrid. But this is definitely not a banner you need to go for. And it's definitely not a standout either. So, yeah, I'm not... Honestly, I think I'll probably be skipping this banner. I don't really need any of these units. And, yeah. But, I mean, again, there's still some value here. It's just that I think it's weaker than the last banner. And it's definitely weaker than the upcoming banner, which is absolutely insane. Like, we have... It's likely we're going to have Ninian, Robin, and another green legendary. And that is just insane, like, value. So I definitely personally would wait for that. But yeah. Of course, talking about this banner is all well and good, but we need to talk about the unit himself and where he stands. So I do have this Anima tier list right now. And as you can see, Anima defenses are so sad. Like, the fact that Mirabilis and Arvel are an S, and not only just an S, but like there's a huge gap between S and A. Like, S are mythics I consider like actually valuable and like units worth pulling for. A, I say, are units that can definitely work and, you know, they will perform, but it's not like as necessary. And then B and C are just like, why? So yeah, as you can see, like, Mirabilis Dancer provides res buff to help get over Elimine. Arvel, very, very good nuke still, provides the res buff, provides guard, which is super, super strong, especially against Gale Force strategies. And so overall, like, Mirabilis and Arvel are definitely the top tier. In A, Famortis, he definitely works as a save tank, but the fact that you can't have HP buffs on him since he's a defense mythic means that, like, after Bull Tower, he's literally at 1 HP and you can't, like, Gale Force effectively. So it doesn't really help against, like, player face strategies that much, which is what you're supposed to do as a tank, compared to a unit like Brave Hector, even, or like Ascendant Idune, even Arden, honestly, with that 90 HP. Duma can have value by being able to snipe structures like the Bull Tower or Safety Fence, but it's very RNG dependent and not as reliable as you would like. And then in B, we do have Thrasier, Odor, and Saros, which honestly I think are past their prime. And then C, we have Lift, which is just, it's like the Sothis of Anima season. So yeah. Again, as you can see, like, Anima is not in a great state right now. So where do I think... Okay, this is a lot lower res than I thought. But where do I think Freyr will be? Again, where I put Freyr will ultimately depend on how Dream Deliverer actually works. If it can cleanse false start and be useful at that, I'll immediately put him in S tier. Like, no question about it. Because that can enable so many things. It could allow infantry pulse type teams to come back into the fray. And not only that, but Freyr's actually like a pretty competent unit, especially if you can get all your buffs. Like minus 18 attack and defense is nothing to scoff at, right? I mean, obviously his combat potential, his actual combat is not that interesting, but I think it does get the job done. And that, in addition to being able to cleanse any penalties and not being affected by Elimine, does make him very valuable. Again, though, I don't know whether or not this is actually effective against false start. If it is, he'll be here. If it's not, he'll probably be here. I do think I don't know. Maybe he'll be an A if it doesn't cleanse false start. Because, like, I don't know. If this enters in an era of, like, dancer traps and infantry pulls, then, like, I can see it being an S. For now, I think I'll probably put him in the low end of S. Again, take this with a huge grain of salt because I don't actually know the exact mechanics of how Dream Deliverer works at the time of recording. So, again, take this with a huge grain of salt. The next time you see this, it'll probably be completely different. But yeah, overall, those are my thoughts on Freyr. But yeah, actually a pretty interesting unit, not gonna lie. Like, being able to cleanse penalties while not being affected by Elimine is definitely very strong. Whether or not this includes false start remains to be seen. I really hope it does. If it does, or if it doesn't, let me know down in the comments below. And again, let me actually hold on, stop. And yeah, personally, I will probably be skipping this banner. At the very least, I will wait. None of these color shares particularly interest me, but let me know down in the comments whether or not you're going to be summoning on this banner, whether or not you're interested in this or not. Definitely would love to hear. And yeah, if you did enjoy this tier list and reaction, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that jazz to help support the content. Only takes 5 seconds to subscribe, but it truly does help out this channel a lot, and I really do appreciate all the constant support. And yeah, again, let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on Freyr, how he fits into the meta overall. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time. Bye, everyone.